there's one thing hanging over the entire offseason, and it's Fred Warner's status. He's the best player on the defense, maybe the best player on the team. He's up for an extension the way Kittle was last year, and he's going to be more expensive than Kittle. He plays a more premium position. Middle linebackers get paid more. So it seems to me that the Niners have gone out and spent a ton of money, and good for them, but there's not as much money left over. They do have $20 million in cap space. They could do it. It seems to me that this should have been the first thing they did, though, was extend Warner's contract. Makes you wonder.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they may end up signing him and everything may be happy in 49er land, but a player, he's 24 going on 25.
Mm-hmm.
A player he's young, he's apparently brilliant and calls the plays on the defense. And Iggy, he's one hell of a player. I mean, I've seen him run down running backs in the open field.
Yes.
So from my point of view, I understand why they wanted to make a deal with Trent Williams, but he should have been a priority at the level of Trent Williams or Iggy, even higher. So I agree with you. I think, again, I don't know what their reasoning is, but to me, the first thing they should have got done in free agency is Fred Warner, and maybe that's one of the reasons they get a B.
Yeah, Fred Warner is 7 years younger, 8 years younger than Trent Williams. And the reason I think we're bringing this up is because what happened with Buckner last year.
Yep.
Buckner was the same age, 25, had never missed a game, had given really consistently excellent play, and the Niners said, you're good, but you're just not as good as you think you are, and we're going to trade you and replace you with a rookie who's not as good as you. They could do it again. They could do it again.
Okay, I think let's go to Buckner first. I think any reasonable observer would have to say that was not a good deal.
No.
Buckner. He was the spirit of the defense, and from what you've told me, he's a grown-up, reasonable person.
Yes.
And a leader.
Yes.
Kinlaw could not be that in any way. So it was not a deal that worked out for them, and it made them look silly.
Yes.
If they do it again with Warner, it'll make them look ludicrous.
Ludicrous.
They'll go from silly to ludicrous.
Yeah, they'll enter the Trent Baalke zone. Like, you just drafted your 17th player with a torn ACL. Why do you think this is going to work? It hasn't worked. It didn't work last time or the time before that. Stop doing this. But it might be their MO.
Well, he's your best player on defense, and he plays a really significant role both as a player and as a signal caller. And he's young and really everybody on the national broadcast, they would say he's the best middle linebacker in the league. Yes. How do you let a guy like that go? Now, look, they haven't let him go. So I want to say we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That's too positive. We'll look alertly.
Yes.
We will see what happens. But I want to say, if they can't work it out with him and they trade him for draft choices, I will condemn them.
Yes.
I condemn. That's how I would feel.
It would be shameful.
Shameful.
Absolutely. You can't. He's the best. He's the best middle linebacker in the league. You can't improve on that. You can't get better. Why would you give that away? It's like it would be like the Rams trading Aaron Donald. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
You're guaranteed to get a worse player.
It's sort of like what the A's do with Moneyball. You know, they get a player that the fans love, and they don't care, and they get rid of it. It would be at the level of the Oakland A's, and that's a very low level.
Agree. So we're not saying they're going to trade Fred Warner. It's just something that we think is important to monitor given what they did last year. They're on notice.
And we want to say, what the hell is going on, guys?
Real quick, Sean Johnson says, besides Buckner and the inability to rely on Ford, how is the 2019 squad better? Are you accounting for player development? Now, I guess I said that I don't think this team is better than the 2019 team that went to the Super Bowl. I put a poll on Twitter earlier today that said, are the 49ers better than the 2019 team? 50% of 49er fans said yes, and 50% said no. I thought it was an interesting question to get such an even split. So you see, this is the time of the year when 49er fans feel it's their duty, fans in general, feel it's their duty to be optimistic and believe in the direction of the team. And right now, they believe that this team is back. The only thing that was derailing them was injuries. Do you think that this team is as good as it was when they went 13-3 and went to the Super Bowl?
Well, let me just say something, first of all. I applaud fans for defending their team.
Yes.
They're fans, and they're supposed to love the team and supposed to be positive. And I I admire that. I don't have any irony toward that or look down on that or nothing. I admire that. But Grant and I are not fans where I'm retired, but let's use the present tense. We're professional sports writers, in his case, a sports broadcaster, but we're commenters and we are detached. If the Niners do well or not means nothing in my life. It's just something I comment on. What matters in my life is other things. It was my job. It's Grant's job. So I think so I'm not going to cater to fans because I'm not a fan. So I think the team's better. Well, in 19, they had Joe Staley at left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Staley was more of a team player than Trent Williams. Mm-hmm. And Joe Staley is a Hall of Fame. Now, he may have been slipping a little, but he was pretty good that year. He's a Hall of Famer, Iggy. Joe Staley. They had Emmanuel Sanders as a wide receiver. He's an elite. And they had Buckner. He's an elite wide receiver, and Buckner is the second or third best player in the whole league, Iggy. Right?
Yep. Bosa hadn't torn his ACL.
They had Bosa and he hadn't torn his. No, and D Ford. Did they have D Ford?
Yep, and he was on that team. Armstead hadn't gotten paid yet.
Armstead played well because he hadn't got the big. No, that was a better team than what they have now.
Yeah, I mean, he says, are you accounting for player development? Like players get better as they get older, or they get older as they get older, and they get worse. I see the Niners as a pretty old team now. A lot of their guys are in their 30s. They don't have the depth they used to have. I don't think this team is as good as it was 2 years ago, but they could prove us wrong, I suppose. We'll see. I mean, the draft is coming up. They have an opportunity to get the next Nick Bosa or something like that, but I just don't see it. Raymond says Warner will be signed just like Kittle because they were drafted by Kyle and Lynch, unlike Buckner. Possible. Kittle was signed right before training camp.
That's a very interesting perspective, and I think it may have validity.
Agree. Match says, thoughts on the D Ford restructure. This might be where the money for extending Warner comes from. Yeah, they restructured D Ford's contract. They created a bunch more salary cap space. Couldn't get D Ford off the team. Got to keep paying him to stay here and rehab and stuff. But they have more cap space, so that's how they could get Fred Warner. That's good.
Whatever they need, I understand. So the point is, I had said it should have been their number one priority in free agent, but perhaps they needed to wait till restructuring D Ford before they can move on Warner. But now they did restructure Ford 2 or 3 weeks ago. What happened with Warner?
Do it now. Yeah. Why would you wait?
Do it now. Yes. In fact, get out from under your desk, Kyle, and John, get out from under the bed, sign Warner, and have a press conference.
Yeah.
Show your smiling faces.
Yeah, be proud of it. Do it now.
Yeah.
And answer some questions about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.